Welcome to the Pursue Your Spark podcast. We bring you the best tips and solutions in fitness and nutrition to lead a healthy lifestyle. This is the podcast that shows you how you can unlock your potential and why it matters to ignite the spark in your life. And now your host, Heike Yates. Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Pursue Your Spark podcast. I'm your host, Heike Yates. Thank you so very much for being here with me today. I love all the positive feedback about the show, so please leave a review on iTunes, and also make sure you get notifications from iTunes so you don't miss out on another episode coming your way every 2 weeks. In today's podcast, number 22, we talk about why it takes courage to boost your self-confidence and why fear may hold us back to live our best life. Most of us are not born fearless and confident. I had to overcome some of my own fears to get to where I am today. When I talk about fearless and confident, I'm not talking about the courageous Katniss from the Hunger Games. Yes, I'm a big fan of science fiction and fantasy shows. So Katniss, with her bow and arrow, is slaying the bad people with confidence. She's taken action despite the fears and even the threat of being killed herself. So what matters most here is that she is taking action. The actress playing Katniss, Jennifer Lawrence, had to practice many hours to get into the character and practice shooting the bow and arrow like a pro. She was not born with all the skills that made her a hero, and neither are we. We need to work on being our own hero, just like she did. So let's dive into why it takes courage to boost your confidence and what you can do to overcome some of your own fears. Fear is something that we all face to one degree or another. But how do we overcome those fears that hold us back to achieve what we desire with confidence? Imagine you want to start exercising. Let's use this as an example for today. You have thought about it for years, but now you think you're ready. You bought the clothes that you need for the particular class you signed up for. You go to the studio and stand in front of the door thinking, what if everyone looks at me? Or, what if I can't follow the class? I will look so stupid. Oh my God, do I look good enough for this class? Or, what if nobody talks to me? And then, I should be in better shape to actually get started. Fear sets in, and you start sweating, and you turn away, and defeated, you go home. I have been there for sure, and I remember the time when I was teaching my first exercise class. I started taking classes at the local YMCA here in Maryland because I had gained a ton of weight during my pregnancy with my son Jesse. Actually 50 pounds to be exact. And my friend at the time told me that those classes will help get rid of the baby weight and the flab. That's a winner right there. So off we went taking that class. It was some kind of a dance program with weights and floor exercises. Definitely doable. I loved the class, and that must have shown because I got hired to teach classes. Never in a million years did I think I would be teaching an exercise class. Seriously. So, since it was a choreographed class, I had to learn the dances and teach those dances for 6 weeks. Well, that was a challenge, but I had to audition with the program director after I learned the dances to see if I was ready to teach. I almost died because I was so nervous and was sweating bullets. You know what? I figured, what do I have to lose? If I don't get the job, I just keep paying the classes and keep going. But my inner Katniss said, no way, you can do this, Heike. So I did. And you know what? I failed. The program director stopped me after the first dance and told me that I was totally off the music and that my performance was not making the cut. I was devastated and crying. We tried several more times, but I didn't understand what I was doing wrong until, with her help, we figured it out. There's one thing that you may not know about me. I am deaf on one ear, and I lived with this all my life, so I don't know any different. And most people don't notice that I'm deaf because I compensate for it pretty well. But in this incident, it made a difference. So once we figured out what the problem was, the director had an idea. She put my hands on a speaker so I could feel the music. A light bulb went off, and finally I understood what she meant. Based on that experience, I auditioned again after I listened to all my songs with my hands on the speaker so I could learn the music and move to the right beat. I was still afraid that I would lose the beat and look like a fool. But I taught my first class, still sweating. But I felt so confident that I knew what to do even if I lost the beat of the music. So you see, you can learn to overcome your fears and lack of confidence by taking action, and perhaps sometimes you need a helping hand. Making mistakes is human. We're not born perfect. It takes practice and taking small, manageable steps towards your goals that bring huge results in the end. For me, it set me up on a new career as a fitness professional. Stephen King says, the scariest moment is always just before you start. After that, things can only get better. Let's dive into the 7 steps to boost your courage and self-confidence. Number 1, take pride in your appearance. Stop trotting around in sweats and a huge t-shirt and a ponytail all the time. While there's nothing wrong with being comfortable, start putting a little effort into your appearance. No, I'm not talking about expensive clothes and stuff like that, but something that makes you feel comfortable and you still look amazing in. As a fitness professional, I usually wear my activewear. It's so comfortable, but I had to make changes because I started to wear them all the time. Well, except for date night. You might ask a friend whose fashion sense you admire to help you out with that. Looking in the mirror thinking, girl, you just look great, will definitely boost your self-confidence. In my blog, the 5 Kickstarter tips to feel spunky and sexy at HeikeYates.com, I addressed my lack of fashion sense, but what I did to look spunky and sexy. So take a look at that. I will put a note in the show notes. Number 2, replace negative self-talk with a positive message. So many times I hear women talk negatively about themselves when there is no need to do that. But the lack of self-confidence triggers these negative messages. So let's start by replacing those with a positive mindset. And I want to use the exercise example again. So here's your negative thought. What if everybody looks at me? I know they think I look frumpy. But the reality may be they may look at you because you opened the door and because you're new and they have never met you and they're simply curious. The positive thought would be, the people in the class are curious. Who else is brave enough to come to this class? Begin by noticing what you say and think and change it into something positive. It may take some practice, but don't give up. You will succeed. Maybe stop the podcast right now and start writing down some of the thoughts that come to mind. But for sure, do this exercise after you listen to the podcast today to gain clarity on how your negative phrasing can change into something positive and supportive to boost your self-confidence. Number 3, surround yourself with positive people. Really look around who your friends are, who your coworkers are, and take inventory on their behavior. And for today, I like to use our exercise example. Ask yourself, do they support your goals or discourage you? Do they say things like, don't go to this class, it's too hard? Or do they boost your confidence or hold you back? Do they say things like, you should stay at home and exercise? Do they encourage you to take action, or do they instill fear, saying things like, why would you go there? They will not like you anyways. These are important things to ask yourself. If your friends don't support your positivity, get rid of them. Courage helps you overcome the fear of rejection. No, you will not be lonely. You will make new friends that are positive and that support you and your goals. I took action several years ago and banished everybody negative from my life. I feel so much better, and my new community is so supportive, and we genuinely care for each other. We have such a supportive community at the Art of Igniting Your Spark over at our private Facebook group. I put a link in the show notes so you can join too. Number 4, stand tall and look him in the eye. I remember my mom remarking on something that I had never noticed. She said, when you walk in a room, all eyes are on you. Thinking about that, what she told me, I said, well, if I stand tall and look into their eyes with confidence, then they will not notice how self-conscious and nervous I really am. Start with small steps and picture this. You made it to your regular lunch place. You snuck into your seat so nobody noticed you. So let's practice. Now, sit tall. So sit really tall. Start taking deep breaths. Now, start looking around. No, not staring at people, but scoop out the restaurant. And perhaps let your gaze linger on one person or the other. Start practicing that until it will become second nature. And it's your new normal to do that. Have the courage to look up, and don't be afraid who looks back at you. They are probably just as nervous as you are. You know, courage is the secret sauce that allows you to act despite your fears. Number 5, set small and achievable goals. Many of us want to change everything all at once. But once we see the task ahead, we lose courage and sometimes don't even get started. The goals are so big and success is not guaranteed. You might think, so why even start? So let's use the next example. I want to lose 30 pounds before I go on vacation, which is in 2 months. I am sure many of you feel simply overwhelmed just thinking of what that might look like. The things you have to do and the consequences your decision might bring. Like buying food, going on a liquid fast, having to cook, going to the gym all the time. Here's what I recommend. Do more of the things you are already doing well. For instance, start eating more fruits and vegetables instead of pasta and potatoes. Or add a 10-minute walk after work, or any time of the day for that matter. You will not lose the weight fast, but you will develop better habits. Remember, baby steps will lead to incredible and lasting results. Number 6, change a small habit. Now that you have set a small and achievable goal, we start changing some of the habits that you need to be successful. Think of something that you always wanted to start, and in our example, it is starting to exercise. But that's a big habit change. Not a big one, like I'm going to work out 1 hour a day for the next 30 days. Just a small one, like waking up 10 minutes earlier and stretch. Something small that you know you can do. Something that's so simple that you don't have to think about it and letting it become a habit. Do it every day for a month. It's okay if you miss a day here and there, but keep at it. You're trying to do a little better than you're already doing. When you've accomplished your one goal, you will feel like $1,000,000, promise. Courage gives you the ability to put aside your fear of failure and taking the first steps. And finally, number 7. Clear the clutter in one area of your life. This might seem like a small, simple thing. Then again, for some of you, it might not be so small. You could start by getting rid of old exercise clothes that you never wore and donate them. Exercise shoes that are old and worn out, give them away, or if they're really bad, toss them. This will give you simply more space of what I call breathing room, because everything is clean and you can see what you have or don't. Simplifying that one area in your life is a powerful start. Taking action in small areas of your life is important to boost your self-confidence. So there you have it, your 7 steps to boost your courage and self-confidence. Number 1, take pride in your appearance. Number 2, replace negative self-talk with a positive message. Number 3, surround yourself with positive people. Number 4, stand tall and look him in the eye. Number 5, set small and achievable goals. Number 6, change a small habit. And number 7, clear the clutter in one area of your life. Courage allows you to attempt things that you have not tried before, despite your fear of looking foolish. Now, you don't have to start all at once. Pick the one that seems the most doable for you right now, and have the courage to start it and keep doing it until you are like Katniss, filled with self-confidence. You might start with my free planner, The 5 Ways to Boost Your Confidence and Fitness, for more strategies and helpful tips. The link is in the show notes. That's it for today, and until next time at the Pursue Your Spark podcast, be well, my friends. Ciao!